This is the plaintiff, Josephine Villarreal Hill. She says she rented a 2-bedroom apartment from the defendant for 6 years, and one day the pipe under her bathroom sink exploded and caused a big flood. The sneaky defendant's now trying to steal her security deposit due to damages. She has some nerve keeping her hard-earned money for damage she had no control over, and she's here in the name of justice, suing for every penny of the $1,200 she's most surely owed. This is the defendant, Lydia Carl. She says the plaintiff caused the flood, plain and simple, and that's why she's not getting her security back. That's right, she left the hot water running all night, and the flood not only damaged her apartment, it damaged the apartment underneath hers. There was no plumbing leak, no busted pipe, nothing. Too bad for the plaintiff. You do the crime, you pay the fine. She's accused of not returning monies owed.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff rented a 2-bedroom from the defendant. A pipe burst, and now the defendant is charging her for the damage. But the defendant says the plaintiff caused the flood. It's the case of pipe down.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Villarreal Hill. Okay, you're suing Lydia Carl, your former landlord, for $1,200, the entire security deposit, which you want returned to you, which, according to you, she has wrongfully attempted to withhold part of. Tell me what's going on.
When I was supposed to get my security,
How long did you live there?
for over 4 years.
4 years.
Almost 5
and then
years.
There was some kind of flood?
Yes.
Tell me about the flood.
October 14th, about 5:30, the person who was living with me, she got up to use and came out to the living room. When she came to the living room, she stepped in water. So right away, she called out to me, telling me, Pat, that's the name she usually called, there's a flood outside. Now, I came outside to see what was going on because I couldn't understand where all this water was coming from. Now, as I entered the bathroom, there was no water coming from the faucet. So, but in the bathroom, you was hearing this noise like a pressure cooker. Now, as I look up, I saw the roof was wet, so I assumed water was coming from
The ceiling,
upstairs,
you
from
mean?
the ceiling, yes.
And what was bad about the ceiling?
It was just wet. Water was in the ceiling. So I, thinking that maybe there was a leak coming from upstairs, I went back to the bedroom and immediately called the landlord, telling her there's a leak upstairs. However, when her son came, the son came downstairs. When he checked, he told me that there was no leak upstairs. I said, well, where's the water coming from?
Well, did he see the water in your apartment?
Yes, there was
Okay.
water in
No,
the
did
apartment.
he see it? Did you show it to him? Did you
Yes.
splash around and, okay.
Yes, I showed him the water. But before he came
Stomp
downstairs, I used the bathroom. Now, after using the bathroom, and I opened the faucet, I had to jump back. There was this noise from the faucet, and the filter fell out. Now, what I observed is after that happened, the noise he was
What do you
saying...
mean the filter fell out? You mean that little thing in the
That little
faucet?
thing
Okay.
at the mouth of the faucet.
Okay, and then
No.
were you able to turn off the water?
Yes, the water could turn off because the tap had nothing to do with this filter, or what do you call it? The filter that was at the end of the pipe. Now, after this happened, I turned off the faucet. And what I observed is that noise he was hearing in the bathroom, that stopped, you know? When the son came down, he kept looking, he said, there's no water coming from upstairs. So I said, where's the water coming from? But his observation was there was some little leak underneath the pipe. Now, when the landlord came, she said that the only reason this could happen, the faucet had to remain open.
I have a question for you. Did you leave the faucet open with water running?
No, I didn't.
Because I assume that would be noisy. Where did you, according to you, there's something she did to cause a flood? What did she do to cause a flood?
I got a call 5:30 in the morning saying there was water coming from upstairs. I called the tenant upstairs, which is not my son, Mr. Nichols, and I said, could you check what is going on? The lady on the second floor said there's a leak. He looked upstairs and he said no water was leaking from upstairs. So I asked him, could you go down and check in her apartment to see what was happening? When he got down there, I still had him on the phone. He said the place was exceedingly hot. He said he didn't see water coming from anywhere. He looked in the tub, he looked by the toilet, he looked in the sink, there was no water coming from anywhere.
Well, how'd the water
He
get into
said-
her apartment? Because you're charging for water damage. You want to keep part of the security deposit because you acknowledged that there was water damage.
I
So-
said to her, and Mr. Nichols has given a statement, that somebody might have accidentally left the hot water on when they went to the bathroom during the night. And that's what caused the overflow.
Says who?
Because
Says who that happened? Says who? I need somebody who knows plumbing to say that she did that for you to be able to charge her a red cent of her deposit for it. I need proof. That's how we work in court. What proof do you have that that's how that happened?
So if there's no proof that the tenant caused the damage, no proof, is the landlord responsible for all the damage?
Yes.
Because?
I don't know, because it's his place.
Because it's his place. That kind of makes sense. What do you say?
I'd say that it's the landlord, yeah, like he should pay for it because there's no proof, so you can't just blame the person without having any proof that they were the one who broke the pipe.
You know what? That kind of says it all. That was really good. Going inside the courtroom.
Did you finally hire a licensed plumber to go in there?
no, I didn't hire a
Did you
licensed
hire
plumber.
a plumber to go in there?
No, I didn't hire a plumber.
So you
to go
hired
in there.
nobody, and you just want to take a chunk of the damages out of the tenant because you've decided that it must be that she left the faucet running?
Well, when Mr. Nichols went down there, which
Who's
is a tenant.
Mr. Nichols?
He's a tenant from the...
Exactly. Is he a plumber?
He's not a plumber.
Okay.
He
Well,
didn't
then what
see
am I-
any water.
You're a plumber, right? He's a plumber. I don't even need. Who are you to her? A friend. A friend. Come on up, plumber. Like I need to hear this. Switch places. You didn't actually see the apartment in question at the time, right?
No.
Okay. So what are you here to tell me?
No, she just explained the problem to me and
It sounds like what?
nothing. Not the faucet. It
No.
couldn't be the faucet. It couldn't be no faucet.
What is it? Do you think?
It's a busted pipe in the wall. Or,
Yeah, it's what it
it.
usually is. A busted pipe in the wall in an old building.
Yep.
Who knew? Return this lady's money, $1,200, verdict for the plaintiff.
There was no busted pipe.
So the plaintiff prevails. She is going to get the rest of her security deposit back, $1,200. I heard you just say there was no busted pipe.
That's correct. There was no busted pipe.
Well,
There
where
was
did
no-
the water come from?
I don't know. You got to ask them where the water come from.
No,
The evidence showed from the
You had
the
to have
faucet.
some kind of proof. I mean, did you ever get a plumber to look and decide what the problem was?
No, I didn't get a plumber to look because when we got there was no water anywhere. I turned on the faucet. I checked under the sink. There was no water leaking from anywhere.
It hasn't been since.
And hasn't been since. And this was a copy of a picture of what the vanity looks like.
Well, you
And
don't-
that
you don't have
can-
to show
can
me
be-
that
yeah,
out here. I
she
mean, the
didn't
judge
actually
should have seen that.
asked to see that, but she didn't want to.
Well, bottom line, you needed some evidence. You know your problem is? You didn't call a plumber. You needed a plumber and a
Okay.
plumber's testimony to
Okay.
help you out. That's really what cooked your
Okay.
goose. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Okay,
Thank
you've
you.
learned a lesson. All right. Here comes the plaintiff now. You're okay with this? I'm sure you are.
Yeah,
What
I am.
was it?
No, she had to change the faucet plus the speedy connector. So if there wasn't a problem with the line, why did she have to do that?
Well, I don't know.
That's the question she should
Okay.
answer.
Well, you're going to get your security
yeah,
back.
I'm glad to do that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You're a big help. Anyway, you're a plumber. Very good. All right. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, well, this is a case, there's something called the burden of proof, which if you watch the People's Court, you know what that is. It means that the person who sues usually has the duty to prove, more likely than not, that something bad happened on the other side. In this case, the landlord has the burden of proof, and if he can't show the tenant did it, he's responsible. In this case, she's responsible.